a lot of people that, preach the Bible all the time. Some people do talk shows and they do that. And they'll never call out people like Rick Wiles. It's very interesting to me. They'll call out those who are not religious. They'll call out those who are atheists. They'll call out those who might have different religious beliefs than them. Why not call out Pastor Rick Wiles for being the scumbag that he is? He is scum of the earth.
So is he saying that the virus is originated in synagogues?
I don't know if he's saying that, although it wouldn't surprise me. But basically what he's saying is Jews are being punished for not believing in Jesus and contracting the coronavirus in synagogues. So this man needs to be outed for what he said.
Okay, what about Muslims? They're getting the coronavirus too.
Right,
Well,
it's anywhere where people are congregating.
Yeah.
That's why churches are being shut down as well. So it's not just synagogues, it's anywhere where people are congregating.
So while people want to talk about religion, and I always say there's a lot of good people that are religious people, I don't have a problem with them. They can do whatever they want. They need to call out people like Rick Wiles. Very simply put. It's kind of like, and I don't want to compare this guy to a terrorist, but I'm going to make this sort of analogy. After 9/11, both the left and the right wanted Muslims to call out al-Qaeda. A lot of people feel like the good Muslims in this country, and there's many of them, were not calling out the bad Muslims. To me, this is very simple. This is a pastor and a religious man, calls himself a religious man. He's a scumbag, but he's basically saying, the worst anti-Semitic things you could say that are not logical at all. I want to hear religious people call out Pastor Rick Wiles. I want to hear other pastors call out Rick Wiles. Where are you? This should never be tolerated in this country. Never. And this man is a pastor who speaks in front of people, in front of kids? Are you effing kidding me? This guy's a nut job. He belongs in the psychiatric ward. Let him read the Bible every day in the psych ward as long as he doesn't hurt other people. Let him think that the Jews deserve the coronavirus if they're in synagogues because they don't believe in Jesus Christ. Let him think about that in his little jail cell, in the psych ward, wherever. But the fact that this guy is a pastor in itself is absurd. And here's something else that's absurd, ladies and gentlemen. And again, Rick Wiles tops the bait. I can't imagine that Mike Lindell would make any statements like that, and he hasn't. Thank goodness, or what he would say, thank God. But Mike Lindell says some pretty wacky things too. Besides the fact that Donald Trump gave him a platform the other day to preach, Mike Lindell, the pillow preacher, as I like to call him. God brought us Donald Trump. Pillow preacher, Mike Lindell. But here's what Mike Lindell said yesterday. He made an appearance on the Lou Dobbs show. I think Lou Dobbs is 114 years old. Lou Dobbs, listen to what Mike Lindell had to say on the Lou Dobbs show. Have a listen to this. Do we have that audio of Mike Lindell? God, please bring us Mike Lindell.
This is just evil, Lou.
There we go. Thank you.
This is evil. I was talking to the president. I said, Mr. President, you doing these press conferences. I said, I've had friends of mine that are on the left. And here I showed him one of my texts. It says, Mike, I'm not a big fan of President Trump, but God bless him. He is doing an amazing job. I think he's turning me. These are the real people that are seeing now that this president has done the best man in charge for such a time as this. It's just those newscasters, those journalists and we know who they are. And I'm going to say it, CNN, what they did to me, I'm sorry. I put out a message of hope to the country that God had given us grace on November 8, 2016 for such a time where a nation had turned his back on God. And right now, we're part of this big revival. We can sit at home and we can go there, get back in the Word with our Bible, spend time with our families, and everybody pray that we have this great administration that can make some decisions to get us through this. And, I can't, I'm appalled by the journalists that I see there. I used to think, are they really that evil? Well, yes, they are.
You know what I'm appalled by? I'm appalled by an idiot who peddles his pillows and then preaches God in the Bible right in front of the White House when we're supposed to be talking about the coronavirus. You spoke more than the doctors. I'm appalled by you. Don't you attack all members of the media just because they don't believe what you believe. I'm sick of it. We'll take your phone calls on the other side of the break. What do you think about this? What do you think about Pastor Rick Wiles? What do you think about, Mike Lindell on the Lou Dobbs show? The number to call, 702-257-5396. We'll take your phone calls on the other side of the break. What do you think about some of these religious nut jobs? 702-257-5396. Be back right after this. Welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. By the way, quick reminder, coming up in hour number 2, Doug Basham will be joining us. I know JD and Doug will have a good battle on air. Doug, of course, the only liberal talk show host in the state of Nevada. Not a big Donald Trump fan. Probably, criticizes him a little bit more than I do. He'll be joining us in hour number 2. Then hour number 3, we're going to hear from a local sportscaster, broadcaster there in Toronto, Canada. They've canceled every event in Toronto until June 30th. We've been talking a lot about religion in the first segment, and I've been very consistent on my opinion that everybody's entitled to believe in what they believe in. If you want to believe in the tooth fairy and pray to the tooth fairy, you're allowed to do that. I've got no problem with it. Religion is a personal choice. It's personal, right? You can believe what you want to believe in, but don't mix it with politics. And when we have these coronavirus press briefings, we want to hear, I think I speak for most Americans, there's nothing wrong with hope, but you want to hear facts and you want to hear the meat and potatoes of what's going on, what's the latest. Let's hear from the doctors. Me personally, I don't want to hear the pillow preacher talking about God and faith. So my question to you, the listeners, is, what do you think about this? And what do you think about Rick Wiles, the pastor in Florida, who says that Jews are being punished for opposing Jesus by contracting the coronavirus in their synagogues? I think it is utterly disgusting. And we should be calling out people like Pastor Rick Wiles. Your thoughts on religion, your thoughts on what Mike Lindell has said. I mean, Mike Pence just did an interview on CNN with Wolf Blitzer. I think he said the word prayer about 30 times in that interview. Your calls, 702-257-5396. Again, if you want to be a part of the program, now's the time, 257-5396. Let's go to Michelle. Michelle, you're first up on the Vegas Take.
What's up, Michelle?
Brian, JD, I love your show. Thank you. I just want to talk about I do want to say something about Pastor Rick Wiles, but first I want to mention the 6.5 earthquake in Boise, Idaho area yesterday, and I'm just reflecting on worldwide because I was able to see videos of the Arkansas tornado and the Alabama tornado, and I want to share with you and your listeners a YouTube channel called Save the Weather, and that it's spelled CHAVE, and they show videos from around the world, and I've seen things on that YouTube channel that I haven't seen on any.
Well, no question that it's good to be educated in what's going on in the world under these difficult times. A serious earthquake or a tornado is not covered like it normally would be covered, but obviously people are being affected, impacted, and people are dying, and it's important to know what's going on in the world. I don't doubt that. Michelle, what do you think about this religious stuff?
Okay, Pastor Rick Wiles, everything that I heard you say that he had quoted, everything he said is straight out of the Bible. So I'm one of those people that have read the Bible in its entirety. And right now,
wait, it says in the Bible that Jews.
I'm reading, and I need excitement in my life. The Bible's very.
Hold on, Michelle. Let me ask you. Okay, Michelle, I get it. Let me ask you.
Yes.
You're saying that in the Bible it says something about Jews being punished and contracting the coronavirus for opposing Jesus?
Yes.
Okay, well that's ridiculous.
It does say
that's
that
ridiculous.
Judgment does fall. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just think that's completely ridiculous to say that Jews deserve to get the coronavirus because they don't believe in Jesus.
It says all people. It's just.
Well, that's absurd. That's ridiculous.
Focuses on.
So because other people don't believe in what you believe in, they deserve to be punished for it. That is absolutely ridiculous.
It's just God's judgment, but we are not to become bitter and resentful and harden our hearts.
Well, wasn't Pastor Rick Wiles resentful and bitter? Wasn't Pastor Rick Wiles being resentful and bitter, attacking someone who doesn't believe what he believes in?
I don't think he was. I think he's just stating the fact that he knows them from reading the Word of God. That's his perspective.
So because you read a book, all right,
that's
Michelle, I understand.
That's where he's coming from.
Okay, well, I understand, Michelle, that we disagree, but I think that is completely ridiculous to go after others because they don't believe in what you believe in. I believe God would want you to treat others with respect and dignity. Yes. And just because we have different beliefs doesn't mean we deserve to contract the coronavirus. I think it's utterly disgusting. I appreciate your call, Michelle. I understand what you're saying, Michelle.
Thank you for touting the alternative news source.
We just disagree completely, 150%. I think that is ludicrous. It's insane that people believe that sort of stuff. that Jews deserve to contract the coronavirus because they might not believe in what you believe in. It's anti-Semitism, it's hate speech, it's wrong, and it's disgusting.
I mean, that'd be like someone calling into a radio show and disagreeing with the host, and the host calling him a moron.
You think that's the same?
No, I don't, Brian.
Well, why did you say that then? You think I wish people to get the coronavirus because they don't believe in what I believe in?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Brian.
Okay, well, it sounded like you did. Okay. 702, that was a weak attempt at my co-host sense, trying to make people laugh. I don't think that's funny, but okay, fine. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Who's next? Alex. Alex, you're next up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Alex?
Hey, good morning, fellas. I think that, Pastor, I think that was horrible to say that, because even Jesus Christ on the cross said, "Please, Father, forgive them for what they have done." Basically, he's forgiving the ones that are harming him on the cross. So I think that Pastor is wrong, and the only one really who should really be judging is God, and that's it, not us. It's ridiculous to say that the coronavirus is the punishment just for the Jews. It's hitting
Right.
everybody. As JD
Can I ask you a question, Alex? And by the way, well said, and I agree with you. Why is it, Alex, do you think that there are not more people like you? You can be religious and not be hateful, right? Why is it you think that there are pastors out there and there are people out there that say things like that? And what would you say to them?
I believe that pastors are like, as the media and also politicians, they know how to utilize and manipulate people, and they can get a certain percentage of people to follow them, whether it be in politics or whether it be in a church. And I think that they're just utilizing that to attract people. Do they really believe it? It's too bad. It's really too bad.
And keep in mind, a lot of pastors charge that 10% tithe,
right,
too.
But here's one of the things I need to say. Brian, I really like your sense of humor, but I think you're getting very angry recently. I've listened to you for quite a while, and I really like listen to your point of view. I hardly ever agree, but I like it. But there's too much anger there. Is it possible, with all due respect, is it possible it's because Donald Trump, I know you can't stand the guy, is it possible because his approval ratings are climbing under this situation?
I can tell you right now and answer that. I can answer that.
They don't like.
Okay, so let me answer that question as honestly as I can, because I'll tell you one thing, Alex. I've never lied on this show. I'm always as honest as I can. I tell you, I feel. I don't even know what Donald Trump's approval rating is, and I don't care. Here's the honest answer that I will give you. I'll tell you why I'm angry. Number one, I'm angry because our innocent Americans are dying. I'm angry because we're all in quarantine, or we should be. I'm angry because I feel like somebody did this on purpose. I don't think this was an accident out of China. I think somebody did this on purpose. I'm angry. I'm angry because innocent, good people are suffering. Now, if you want to talk about the political aspect of it, here's what I'm angry about. I'm angry that in these times, the leader of the free world, at times, is making it about himself and wants to be congratulated all the time. I'm angry that when he gets a difficult question from a member of the media, he attacks instead of showing leadership. Listen, I don't like Mike Pence for a lot of different reasons, right? I've been very open on that, but I'll say this about Mike Pence that's positive, is that Mike Pence is answering every single difficult question that is thrown his way without attacking anybody. We need that sort of leadership right now.
Trump did that yesterday as well.
So one out of 20 is not good enough for me.
Well, I'll call it. He did well on Sunday also, I thought.
Okay, well, I disagree with you.
I didn't actually watch the Monday press conference.
I disagree with you, but I'm trying to answer his question. And the number one reason why I'm angry is because innocent people are dying. People that I know, everybody that I know is being affected in one way or another. Alex, to be honest with you, that is the main reason why I'm angry.
You think this might be a biological weapon?
I didn't say that.
You said it's not an accident.
Well,
if that's the case, if it's not an accident and it originated in China, what was it for?
Okay, here's the thing.
And what is it?
Let me start out by saying this. I have no idea, and I have no proof to suggest, or I should say to say 100% that this was done on purpose. Here's why I think there were shenanigans going on, and it could have been done on purpose, because the doctor that exposed this is dead. Another doctor who exposed this is missing. I find that to be very troublesome and very interesting, and there is some proof that is telling us that China did not do everything they could to stop this virus and to notify America and around the world.
And that's not even the worst of it. The proof just came out, according to Bloomberg, that there is legitimate, that the U.S. government has a legitimate chance, or has legitimate reason to believe that China has been literally lying about the amount infected and the amount dead. And by saying there was only 80,000 infected in a country of close to 2 billion people, that doesn't seem like a lot of people. But if the number was actually 2 or 3 million and the deaths were 40 or 50,000, then every single country across the world would have reacted in a totally different way. And that didn't take place, and that has just come out. So there's going to be some serious investigations
Make no mistake
into
about
China. Not only from the fact that they lied about it being a transmissible virus, human to human, but also they lied about the actual numbers of people that have been infected and people that have died.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. Fourth or fifth on my list, that was Donald Trump. But there are several other reasons that are more important.
Well, and you're angry.
Hold on, if I can just finish. There's several more reasons that are more important than the Orange Man, and that is what you just mentioned. I am very angry that China, in my personal opinion, that government will kill hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people across the world because of their disgusting behavior in hiding this. That's why I'm angry. I'm angry because innocent people are dying in this country, and people are hurting right now, and people are scared. We've never had to live like this before. That's the main reason why I'm angry. Yes, we cover politics on this show. Yes, me and JD differ on some opinions on the way Trump and the administration has handled that. We'll talk about that more in hour number 2. But, Alex, that's why I'm angry. It hurts me. All those people out there that are struggling, people that have lost loved ones. I'm angry. And those people in China, if they did do this on purpose, or if the government hid this from the world, I want those people to suffer and pay for what they did. 702.
And I'm just suffering from. I'm developing claustrophobia here.
702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Jim. Jim, you are next up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
What's up, Jim?
Yes, I have 2 answers for you that you've had questions over the last month or so. I'd like to give you the answers. The first one is Donald Trump getting into office. People say, and you've heard it, that he got in through God. Okay, just let me hear what I got to say. The way that he did, the people that were running against him in the Republican Party, he shot every single one of them down. It ended up being the candidate. Then he took over Hillary and got her taken off of there. Okay, and that to us, the people that go to church, the tens of millions of people in America, we see that as a miracle from God.
Okay, so can I ask you? Let me just interrupt real quick. Stay on the line, Jim. Let's just talk about that for a second. Could it be possible that maybe it was just Donald Trump that was a better debater? Could it be possible that maybe it was just Donald Trump that ran a better campaign? Could it be possible that maybe it was just Donald Trump that had a better message? Can't that be possible? And maybe it didn't have anything to do with God? Can't that be possible?
Okay, let me ask you this.
No, don't ask me this. Please just answer the question.
Politicians that had everything they needed behind them, and he totally.
You're telling me you think Hillary Clinton was a good candidate? Answer that honestly. Forget about God for a second. You think Hillary Clinton was a good candidate who resonated with most of America?
No, most of the people that.
Okay.
I know,
what he's saying is that Hillary Clinton was such a poor candidate that the fact that she was not. That she did not become president of the United States was a gift from God because of what she would have done to the country.
Fine, Jim. Let me ask you something else.
Can I make another point, please?
I will let you make another. I will let you make another point. I promise you that. Okay. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes. But let's go with this for a second. You think if there is a God out there, and I hope there is, by the way, you think God said, I want the leader of the free world, the man who has several ex-wives, who cheated on his wife 2 months after she had a child. I want that man. The man who goes after POWs, the man who attacks women on looks. If there is a God out there and he has that kind of power, you think of all the intelligent, good people in the world, God said to himself, you know what? I'm going to pick that guy, Donald Trump. Is that your position?
Okay, here's what you don't understand. Without the Spirit,
why don't you answer my questions?
Listen, let me make the point, okay? Throughout the whole world of God, that we people that tens of millions go to the church, we agree on one thing. The God of the Bible, just like on the back of the dollar bill, in God we trust. This God.
What does that have to do with what I just said?
Throughout the word, he picked people
You're killing me.
Foolish to confound the wise. Okay.
Okay. Can we go back to what I just said? Because I'm not gonna have you quote the Bible on this show. Okay. I'm gonna ask that question again because you're the one who brought up God, not me. Okay. In the conversation with Trump, Of all the people in the world, you think the man who's cheated on multiple wives, who's a womanizer, who bragged about sexual assault, who demeans people and demeans women, the ultimate sinner, according to you, would be Donald Trump, and other than, murdering somebody or committing felonies, which is, by the way, you could debate the felony part. You think God is the guy who said, you know what, I'm going to pick the sinner, Donald Trump. That's what you think, yes or no?
Okay, can I make my point?
Why don't you ever answer my question directly?
Brian,
why do you have to make a point?
Yes. He picks
Brian, the
anyone he wants.
Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
No,
apparently.
he says that I put
All right, make your
everyone
other
into
point because you're
power.
driving me nuts, Jim. Go ahead, make your other point. I promised you that. God told me to allow you to make a second point. Go ahead.
Okay, just about the other point. He puts everyone into power, and he put Trump there. No matter what you think, David killed someone, and he put him into power. Why do you deny this power?
Why do I
God's
deny
got the
what
power to do
power?
anything.
What power are you talking about? If God has the power to choose whoever he wants to, why the hell would he pick this guy? Why can't you answer one question directly, sir? Oh, my goodness gracious. 702-257-5396.
It all comes down to God's will.
Yeah, that must be what it is. Just another pillow preacher. 702. He's probably had 8 My Pillows in his house. 702.
He sleeps very comfortably then.
702-257-5396. Let's go to Jude, maybe. Jude, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Jude?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, just a little bit on the Bible thing, man. I'm not a Bible pusher, but it is a faith that you have. You either have it or you don't. But if you go back and you go through the Holy Bible, the Christian Bible, it does say that Israel and Jewish people will be persecuted throughout history. And you can see over history, through 2,000 years of writing, what's happened to Israel and the Jewish people.
I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. I'm okay.
And then my second point is, have you heard?
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I don't want to forget your first point, and I'll let you make your second point. So you're saying that? Do you believe that all Jewish people should be punished?
No,
is that what you believe?
Anybody should be persecuted. I'm saying that. That's
so you disagree with the Bible, then?
It's written. It says it says Jewish people will be persecuted.
And do you agree? Do you agree with that?
Not by God. That's by other people. I do agree.
Right.
You look what Hitler did to them. Look what Egypt enslaved.
So you're defending it?
Over 400,000 of them. And
so you're
Moses
defending it?
Saved them. I'm not defending it. I'm just telling you that's what's written. It's God's word, and you can't.
How do you know it's God's word? How do you know? So you're saying God wanted the Holocaust? So you're saying God wanted the Holocaust. God wanted 7 million innocent Jewish people to die.
God didn't ask anybody to do anything bad. We make our own choices in life. And if you
Does God make his own choices? Does God make his own choices?
God created us to have our will to make our decision whether we want to be good.
So God had nothing to do with the Holocaust.
I think it's the people, human people, that did it, and he knew it was going to happen. So
if he has the power, why didn't he stop it then? So why didn't he stop it then?
The Holy Bible.
So if people pray to God to end the coronavirus, like the Mike Pences of the world, why didn't all that praying? Why didn't God stop the Holocaust then?
Brian, I mean, that's something you're going to probably have to check with your own faith on, but that's just what I believe.
No, I can tell. No, I don't have to check. I don't have to check with anybody. No, sir, with all due respect.
The Bible tells you a lot of things that have come true, and it's
well, I've said a lot of things. Well, you know what? I've said. I understand, sir, and I appreciate the phone call, but I've said a lot of things that are true also, and there's a lot of things in the Bible that are not true, and to defend the hateful and horrible atrocities that have happened to people of the Jewish faith, and by the way, many other people that are of faith as well, the innocent people that have died, and to defend it and read a passage in the Bible is disgusting.
Yeah, clearly, even if the Bible was correct, what took place with the persecution of Israelis and Jewish faith people is completely awful. I do think that as long as the correct measures are being instituted for mitigation and stopping the spread of the virus, that pray. In addition to that, not by itself, not just praying the virus away, but praying does lead to hope right now, and it is necessary considering all of the hardships that we're all going through and how different our lives are being right now.
Praying and hope is completely different, though, than what Pastor Rick Wiles did. Praying and hope is very different than mixing it with politics. I have no problem with people praying. If that makes them feel better, go for it. I have no problem with that. Do whatever you want. I agree with you. There's nothing.
And I think it helps. I think it helps morale.
Okay, well, it doesn't help morale with what Rick the pastor said. I'm sure we would.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, that was way over the top.
Yeah. I mean that's what we're talking about. And I also think it's over the top when the MyPillow guy makes it a political campaign because that's what he did. He was praising Donald Trump, plugging his MyPillow. He goes on Lou Dobbs, attacking every member of the media that doesn't like Donald Trump. That is absurd.
The media is nitpicking every single thing Trump does and trying to make an example of him with gotcha moments. And it's been clear, and it happened multiple times during the press conference yesterday, Brian.
Using
and
his own statements is not gotcha.
did a very, but what are those own statements going to accomplish?
We can get into that.
No, but I'm serious.
I don't want to get into that with you now.
That's fine, but outside of that, my pillow guy, Ron Lindell, being positive and talking about prayer.
Being positive is okay. He can talk about prayer all he wants to. Do it on your own social media.
No, and recommending prayer.
Don't do it at a coronavirus press conference.
And making, again, why you interrupt me, Brian?
Well, because we've talked about this, and I want you to talk about this with Doug Basham coming up in hour number 2.
Fine.
702. You're going to have 30 minutes to talk about that. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Ron. Phone lines are full. Let's go to Ron. Ron, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead.
What's up, Ron?
Good morning, gentlemen. Brian, for one time, I agree with you. You're exactly right. Religion has nothing to do with these diseases. Religion has nothing to do with God causing these diseases or even making them go away. This is something that happens. It's all biological.
So what would you say to those people, Ron? Ron, what would you say to those people that preach, that preach hate, and that pray?
The only reason they want to talk is to hear themselves talk and collect money, because it's all baloney. It's not in the hands of God. It's all biological.
Well, I tend to agree with you, Ron, and I appreciate the phone call.
Were the Jews in the hands of God when Hitler put them into 7
exactly.
million of them in the oven?
Exactly. Ron, how did you get so logical all of a sudden?
Buddy, because I want you to have a debate with Heidi Harris.
Well, we've talked about that. Thank you for the call, Ron. We appreciate it. 702-257-5396. I believe Lewis is next. Lewis, go ahead.
Hey, guys. Good topic, but at least from my standpoint is, unfortunately, there is no logic when it comes to faith. It's not logical for a man to walk on water. It's not logical for a man to turn water into wine.
Well, because it doesn't happen. I agree.
You want an earthly logical answer, and with God, there is no logical answer. So that's my take on it.
And that's a good take.
The only other thing that I'm going to tell you, man, is this might be your stick and this might be your skill. Every single day I hear, it doesn't matter what you guys talk about, I hear Donald Trump said, Donald Trump said, Donald Trump said, Donald Trump said. And that's what you know what? For the haters, what you haven't figured out yet, you guys got to go look in the mirror. Don't look at Donald Trump. Don't look at Donald Trump and look at the other side.
So can I ask you a question before we go? Let me ask you a question. Hold on, sir.
Sir.
All right, Lewis, I defend Donald Trump every single day on this show, so don't say you guys. Just say Brian.
First of all, for 8 years, many of the right-wing media, including right-wing talk show hosts, said Obama, Obama, Obama. Were you saying the same thing about them? Did you say the same thing about Rush Limbaugh when he brought up Obama, Obama, Obama every day? Did you have a problem with that?
Just so you know, sir, there you go, making assumptions, okay?
I asked you a question. I didn't make an assumption. It was a question. It was formed as a question.
Obama. I voted.
That's not what I asked you, what your voting record was. I said, did you criticize? That's not what I asked you. I said, did you go after right-wing media for talking about Obama every day? It's a very simple question.
Did I go after right-wing media? No.
And why not? Because Rush Limbaugh did it every day. Goodbye. You see the bias, people? He doesn't want me talking about Donald Trump every day, but Rush Limbaugh and many of the other right-wing talk show hosts for 8 years talked about Barack Obama. That is, ladies and gentlemen, what I call extreme bias. So we got to take a break. It's going to be J.D. Sharp versus Doug Basham coming up next. It's going to be a fun debate. Doug is the only liberal political talk show host out there. I'm going to let Doug take over the reins here against my co-host, J.D. Sharp. And in regards to the administration. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. We'll take more calls later. You're listening to the Vegas Take.